but we are doing a lot of things tonight. We have, turn it off, make sure. So we are celebrating Shabbat. We are celebrating Shavuot, the Festival of Weeks, even though we haven't totally finished counting the Omer. We're getting closer. But as we were pointing out, it is, but you know, what do we say to the rabbi all the time? But Rabbi, we're Reform Jews. So it's okay. We can sometimes count a little more, a little less, and we can try both. And there are lots of options for you if you want to be observing Yontif on Yontif, which is Sunday night, Monday. Some people it's also Tuesday. Let me remind you that if it is your tradition to light a Yizkor candle, if you have immediate relatives in your family or others for whom you're observing Yizkor, remember that you would light it potentially Sunday evening before sundown. And then you could light your Yontif candles on Sunday evening before sundown. Did you take one of these? Got one? On the table on the way in. We don't have ushers. Nobody knows. So we're celebrating today because we're close, but we are not quite there. But it is, I would say, possibly, arguably, the most important holiday of the Jewish calendar, and it's the one that most people ignore. Because, you know, don't you think? I mean, it's when we're standing at Sinai. It doesn't get more important than that. We're standing at Sinai. We're getting along. We're all standing there together. We are hearing God's voice. We're seeing God's voice, and it doesn't get more important than that. There was a cute meme that I saw the other day that was kind of like, you remember last time we met? It was, you know, at Sinai when we were there together, because we all stood at Sinai. It was supposedly a between us and God thing, but I think we meet a lot more often than just that. So here's an interesting fact. When I went to look at this book, and I tried to find one that was that gave me a cue sheet of what we do and what we don't do, and what we should skip and not skip, we never, ever, ever used this book for Shavuot before. Why? No, we had it, but it was, not that far back. 100 years ago when you started, we didn't have it. It's from 91 and 79. We've had it for a little while. It's a little bit younger than Big Blue, but and it was designed for families, services with families. But usually on Shavuot, we have confirmation. And this year, our confirmation class is exhausted. I kind of ran them ragged because we had two students in our class, one from this synagogue and one from the other synagogue. And we did a lot about understanding about their history here, our history here, the history of the Jews in Shreveport and the history of the Jews in other parts of Louisiana. So first we did a tour of Bnei Zion and a tour of Agudath Achim, and they took a bunch of pictures, things that were meaningful to them. So it may not surprise you that unlike tourists who see something new and they take a picture, they mostly took pictures of things that they already knew. And so the student who went to Bnei Zion grew up here. She took a lot of pictures here. The student who went to Agudath Achim, who grew up there, took a lot of pictures there, and the other student took fewer pictures there. But then we also they came with us to all 4 cemeteries when we were putting flags. They were very helpful for that. And they took pictures of interesting stones and things that were historical, and especially when they were really impressed when it would say, wow, it's World War I. It says, wow, it's World War II. Like, I was very proud of how proud they were about this and how aware they were of this. And so we did that. We did 4 cemeteries. And then, what's today, Friday? Yesterday we met here, and we took a picture here, which you can already see hanging up on the confirmation wall. And we took a picture, we stayed dressed up, and we went to Agudath Achim, and we took a picture at Agudath Achim, all dressed up. And then we got into our travel clothes, and we drove down to Alexandria, and we went around the temple there, and we saw, they have a museum set up. And part of the reason why we went is because we looked at their museum. It started as a way to explain to their non-Jewish neighbors about their history and how they came to Alexandria when there was a production of Fiddler on the Roof going on in the community, and they wanted to teach their people about Anatevka, but a real life Anatevka. Anatevka is fictional. And so they did this really powerful exhibit that shows all of the places that the people of Alexandria, the Jewish community, came from. And they've got, you know, the old Ark and things like that. It is a very, if you haven't been there before, there's a lot that will remind you of our building, especially before we renovated, because the seats were the same seat. Like, a lot of it was the same, and some was different. And I loved what the students noticed. And they took a lot of pictures. And then we went, you ready? Let the rabbi drive, and guess what? We went to Monroe from Alexandria, and we saw the museum that they had there. And we took pictures in Monroe. We met the new rabbi there, who's a young guy, who was very enthusiastic, and I had already had a long conversation with him before, but now we met him in person, and he showed us. Most of the time, he was on the phone with somebody saying, "Where is the other thermostat? Can we turn some air conditioning? Where are the light switches?" That was how he spent most of his time. But he learned while we were walking around the museum, and they took 2 classrooms in their religious school wing, and they turned it into one room is mostly about religious, liturgical Jewish artifacts, a variety of kinds of, you know, from a shofar to a dreidel to all kinds of things. And the students kept saying, "Look how they spell dreidel, look how they," like, oh, it doesn't matter how they spell it. But they learned a lot, and they took a lot of pictures. And then there's a Holocaust memorial statue in the middle of town in Alexandria. We took a picture of that. And then we came home in time for the one student who's in Fiddler to make it in time for the Fiddler rehearsal. And then they took all of the pictures, which was over 193, and they turned it into a mosaic. So this was sitting outside for a moment when you came in. I don't know if you noticed it, but they turned it into a mosaic. We talked about what Chai means, and so they turned it into a Chai mosaic of 193 pictures of what they see as their Jewish cultural heritage. And we talked a lot about how, and you are the Jewish future. So I wore them out. They're not here today, but I am, like these youngins, what can I say? But we have a picture, and Agudath Achim has a picture. Agudath Achim's picture is of the students in front of their ark, and ours is in front of our ark. And I am extremely proud of them. They really jumped into this. And it wasn't just that. We had ethical questions, and we had, you know, all right, if somebody asked you what's the difference between Reform and conservative Judaism, what would you say? And we listened to what the rabbis said, and it was great. So I hope that you look at this, and I hope that you congratulate Zoe Hyman, who happens to be Marla's grandchild, and Lex Austin, and if you know the president of Agudath Achim, it is their child. And there were the 2 10th graders, and they didn't want to do something that the kind of thing that everybody else does for a variety of reasons. So I'm really proud of what they came up with. But that means we get to use this book. That was a long introduction, and that was instead of a sermon. We are going to do this quick service. We are going to hear the very, very, very powerful Torah portion, and we are going to eat a lot of cheesecake. But if it's your anniversary or your birthday this month, then I need you to step up for that. We're also counting the Omer. You know what day we really are tonight? Yes, 48, which is how many weeks? 6 weeks and 6. 6 weeks, 6 days, 48 days. All right, so we turn to page 151. And it says, on Shavuot, we have 2 reasons to be especially happy. It is Chag HaBikurim. Say that. Chag HaBikurim. So let me tell you something cool about that. If you close your eyes and don't pay attention how it's spelled. Bikur is not just the word that they use for those first fruits, but livaker also means to visit. So for us this week, it's a holiday of visiting for sure. We celebrate the flowers. You notice how things are white here, the fruit and the grains that have grown during the spring. Shavuot is also Zman Matan Toratenu, the time of giving our Torah. Zman Matan Toratenu. I want you to notice that the rabbis point out, it says Zman Matan Toratenu, the time of giving the Torah. Is it the time of receiving the Torah? So every year we commemorate this. It's like a birthday. It's like an anniversary. When you have an anniversary, if you're married and you have an anniversary, there's no guarantee that just because you're celebrating your 4,362nd, whatever it is, anniversary, that you're going to want to stay married to that person the next time. But they're going to offer their hand, and you get to choose to take it or not. Every year, God gives us that Torah again, Zman Matan Toratenu, and we have to decide if we're accepting it or not. Don't tell me about the wedding part. I'm sorry I brought it up. Just kidding. All right, the Torah begins at Mount Sinai. What does that mean? But we can receive it everywhere and learn of its joys. So we continue on page 152, and since it's a different kind of a service, I didn't ask anybody to do this for me, and I'm embarrassed about that. But please rise and we can all do this together. So I will point out, we have a Yizkor candle that we lit because we are celebrating Yizkor. Good idea, I'll step away. We have, I'm sad to say, I'm very, very sad to say that we have still a hostage candle here, reminding us of the hostages. We have Kiddush, even though there's no Kiddush. There's a Kiddush cup and there's no Kiddush in this service here, but we are going to do it. But then we're going to take 3 steps back and take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Oh yeah, I'm not seeing road lines anymore right now. Take another deep breath. Let it out slowly. So this generation of people are going to have a tradition about taking 3 steps back before they start Shabbat. And you're going to wonder why. And the answer is because the rabbi had to take 3 steps back or she would have blown out the candles. That's why she did it. But you're going to think that that's why you have to do it. Nope. But watch us start this new tradition. So on page 152, we can read together, "This day, festival of thanksgiving for the first fruits of the earth and of the Spirit, we celebrate the gifts of love and labor, of God's light and truth." We're going to light this candle just for Shabbat. Well, I don't care. You want it to be? Let's take a vote. How many people want to add Yom Tov? How many people want just Shabbat? Yom Tov? Most people didn't vote. We're going to say Yom Tov too. What can I say? The people who voted get to win. So we're going to use even the words in parentheses. We're going to say it in English first. We praise you, God of time and space, source of blessing, for mitzvot that make us holy, and for the joy of this mitzvah, the kindling of light. And we say together, okay, Brachi Baruch Shemoy, Brachi Baruch Shemoy, Brachi Baruch Shemoy. Let me see if I can do this without spilling them everywhere. Yeah, I can. Brachi Baruch Shemoy, Brachi Baruch Shemoy, Brachi Baruch Shemoy. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov. We open our eyes and we're going to say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. We're going to do at least the short one because it's not even in the book. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pori hagafen. And we read together, we give thanks for life, for sustenance, and for this joyous day. May we be blessed with joy. May we be blessed with light. May we be blessed with peace. L'chaim. You may be seated if you say Shabbat Shalom. Good Yom Tov to everybody. Make sure everybody gets covered. Did we leave anybody out? All right, we turn to page 153. We sing together because it's good for us to be together. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Our hands. It says, or, because we're not going to do that one, we're going to 154. We read together. In the cool of the late spring morn, we thank you and praise you. When evening shows her light, we thank and praise you. When we see the flowers reborn, we thank and praise you. Please rise as for our call to worship. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. God says, turn to me and live. And we, the people, answer, all that you have spoken, we will do. God says, I make this covenant with you, but also with those who will come after you. And we, the people, answer, we will do, and we will listen. God says, love one another as yourselves. And we, the people, answer, we are here, we are ready. Okay. If when you bring your harvest in from the field, you overlook a sheaf of grain, do not turn back to get it. Leave it for the stranger, the orphan, the widow. Then your God will be a blessing to you, whatever you do, wherever you go. Hear these words. They are words of peace and healing to our people, to all people. God is near to us, and joy fills the land. Love and truth shall meet. Justice and peace shall kiss. Truth shall speak up from the earth, and goodness descend from the sky. O God, the earth is rich with grain. Your goodness goes before us to make a path for our steps. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Malechuto L'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. Okay, we have to take another vote. On page 156, we have a V'ahavta in Hebrew, and then in English. How many people can do this in Hebrew? Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chetavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם Adonai Elohechem Emet. All right, if you're under the age of 13 and you feel like coming over here, not going to, right? If you're under the age of 13 and you feel like coming here, then while we're doing the top of 157, I need you to come this way. Hang out in these chairs until we're ready for you. Every people has its own songs. Have a seat, have a seat. Its own tales of going forth from bondage. Our people have seen the dawn of freedom's day. We danced then, and we sang to the one who was with us in Egypt, to the one who is with us on our way, from Pesach to Shavuot, from bondage to freedom. We left the land of Pharaoh, and we sang the praise of God. Get ready. Hold on. We have to sing. You guys feel like singing and dancing? You do? All right, hold on. I got some stuff for you. Take one. Take one. We're going to do this one. You got to stand up and dance too? That's better. Anybody else who feels like standing up and dancing is very welcome to stand up and dance. We're supposed to dance this part. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehila, look at those moves. Oh, say bele. Nora tehilot, oh, say bele. Woo! All right, it's going to wind down. Let me take those back. You guys can go back to your seats. You're awesome. Thank you. I love it when people want to dance for the Michamocha. Aren't you glad you let them dance for the Michamocha? Good. Phew. At the end, at the bottom, it says, Baruch Ata Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. It says, we thank you, the God who made us be free. And on page 158, we're continuing with, Vayidaber Moshe et Moadei Adonai el Bnei Yisrael. Then Moses taught the people of Israel to celebrate God's festivals. Now we have to please rise. Page 158. This one has a transliteration, so I'm not going to ask you if you want to do it in Hebrew or not. We're going to do it in Hebrew. For those of you who want to face east, it's that way, but you don't have to. There's no traffic this way right now. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Praise be the God of Abraham and Sarah, the God of all generations, our friend in pain and joy, the God whose love we need, the God whose love we have, the God who needs our love, the God who has our love, the God of rain and sun, of earth, air, flower, and plant, the God of this year's harvest. As it is said, for the hungry, God is bread, and God-like, we who share our bread with all who need it. Your love, O God, give us strength to build and to plant, to be and to become. Praise be the God of Abraham and Sarah, the God of all generations. You may be seated. Pretty cool, huh? We dream of shalom. Shalom. To be whole, one, complete, peaceable, and at home with neighbor, sky, river, tree, the beast of the field, the air we breathe. We praise you, God the Maker, God the Sustainer, God the Teacher. We who have taught us the way of shalom and taught us that shalom is the way. And we sing a song about shalom at the bottom of page 160. Ose shalom bimromav יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל העולם. ואמרו amen. We are going to not be using this book for a few moments. We are going to be saying, next time we're going to use it is going to be 167, if you feel like opening up to that, but you're not going to need it for a few minutes because we have a bunch of prayers that come in between. Tradition in our congregation is to say prayers for healing. So if you have someone for whom you would like us to be saying prayers of healing for support, please call them out. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless those who are ill. May the blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, we add on behalf of our first responders, Mishaberach Avotenu V'Imotenu, may the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we've entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom, protecting us, serving us, teaching us, or healing us in this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve. Give them courage to succeed and strength to persevere. May they return home safely. And let us say, Amen. And since we are still trying to count our Omer, I'm on page 570 if you need the prayer, but you don't need the prayer. Hineni muchan u'mezuman l'kayem mitzvat aseh shel sfirat ha'omer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom, what do we say today is? Jerry's been the loudest about knowing. 48, there you go. Hayom shmona ve'arba'im yom shehem shisha shavuot ve'shisha yamim la'omer. Today is the 48th day, which is 6 weeks and 6 days into the Omer. How high are we supposed to count? We're supposed to count to 49, and the next day is a celebration. So we have... I think what we're going to do is, Mr. President, I'm going to let you say what you need to say next. Actually, yeah, I'll let you do that first. Yeah, go ahead. You do that. You do that. You do that. And then we have a few more things before we get to the Eleni. Trying to do this in order. For you, sir. Bring that over. I don't think there's anything new, but just in case.
I'll go with that. So, Shavuot, or as I like to say, Shavuos.
Yeah.
What do we know? We know that it's the Feast of Weeks. We know that we eat dairy food. Originally, Shavuos marked the end of the grain harvest in Israel, specifically the wheat harvest. It was time to bring the first fruits Bikurim. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, Bikurim that's a good Yiddish way, and then Bikurim in the Hebrew pronounce it
Bikurim,
both
to the
ways.
temple,
Good.
Jerusalem is offering.
That's good.
What is Bikurim? I'm about to tell you. It refers to the first fruits or the offerings of the first fruits of the harvest that was brought to the temple in Jerusalem during the celebration of the Shavuos. This practice symbolized gratitude to God for the agricultural bounty of the land. Here are some key points. The offering of Bikurim was traditionally associated with Shavuos, which marks the end of the wheat harvest. This connection emphasizes the importance of acknowledging God's blessing at harvest time. Types of fruit. The first fruits that were brought, including staple crops like wheat and barley, as well as the 7 species mentioned in the Torah: wheat, barley, grapes, figs, pomegranates, olives, and dates. Presentation. The first fruits ceremoniously presented in baskets, and the persons offering them would recite a specific declaration, vidui, acknowledging God's kindness in the history of the Jewish people. Significance. Bikurim symbolizes the connection between the Jewish people and the land of Israel, reflecting themes of gratitude and recognition of divine providence. They emphasize the agricultural roots of Jewish life. Cultural practices. In contemporary Jewish practice, when the temple no longer stands and the offering of Bikurim is not performed, the spirit of gratitude for one's blessing is still celebrated, especially during Shavuos. There you have it. Shabbat Shalom. Mazel tov, everyone. Birthdays and anniversaries in June, and good Yontiv. The sisterhood wants you to join us for the cheesecake extravaganza on Egg Shabbat tonight after service. Thank you to everyone who brought cheesecake. Tomorrow morning on Zoom, Rabbi Jana will lead 9:45 a.m. Torah study and 11 a.m. Shabbat service. The B'nai Zion office will be closed this Monday, June 2nd, in observance of then Jewish festival of Shavuos. We plan to have pickleball 6 p.m. every Wednesday indoors here. If you plan to come to play or watch, please email Sam Silverblatt before 3 p.m. that day. If no one is coming, we'll cancel security guard and skip that week. Members can go online to find Sam's email in the directory or contact the office between 9 and 12. The Jewish Federation is hosting Mazel 6 p.m. Wednesday, June the 4th. Rabbi John is on vacation for the month of June. Service will be led by different congregants each week. Services will not be on YouTube. We will not have Saturday morning tour services or study. Tour of the old B'nai building, 10 a.m. June 5th, 2025. Herb Rubenstein, Byrd High School class of 1970, is sponsoring a tour of the old B'nai Zion building. Everyone is invited. Please RSVP to Herb. Contact the office for details. The tour guide will be by Robert Trudeau. The North Louisiana Jewish Annual Federation meeting will be held 5:30 p.m. Sunday, June 29th at a local restaurant. There will be a special speaker. Registration by June 26th is required to attend. Camp High 2025 registration deadline is June 20th. More details for all our events and more are online and in our emails. Please check your email spam folder if you don't see your recent B'nai Zion email. All previous emails and more can be accessed by logged-in members, the members-only link. Donations were made to B'nai Zion of the Sisterhood Flower Fund, loving memory of Franco de Benedetti by Rabbi Jana Max and Ron, and loving memory of Daryl Muslow by the Richard Muslow family, and loving memory of Deborah Plant Jr. by Kathy Blant. Shabbat Shalom, y'all.
Okay, what's the highlight of Shavuot? If it's not confirmation, what's the most important thing we're supposed to do? Here the Decalogue. So Max still has our most famous version that's gone viral. Max, you want to start it? I'll do my part. This was from the confirmation class that wanted everybody to know what it felt like. What it felt like to stand at Sinai. That was their goal, was to feel like, to know what was that straight, Max? Maybe a little crooked. Yeah. Good as it gets. Okay, go, Max. This is the confirmation class from just a few years ago, and what they did is going to last for us forever.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. V'har Sinai Hashan kulo mipnei asher yarad alav Adonai ba'esh.
Now Mount Sinai was all in smoke, for Adonai had come down upon it in fire. The smoke rose like the smoke of a kiln, and the whole mountain trembled violently. The blare of the horn grew louder and louder. As Moses spoke, God answered him in thunder. Adonai came down upon Mount Sinai on top of the mountain. And Adonai called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. Adonai said to Moses,
Go down, warn the people not to break through to Adonai to gaze, lest many of them perish. The priests also, who come near Adonai, must stay pure, lest Adonai break out against them.
But Moses said to Adonai,
The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, Set bounds about the mountain and sanctify it.
So Adonai said to him,
Go down and come back together with Aaron, but let not the priests or the people break through to come up to Adonai, lest I break out against them.
And Moses went down to the people and spoke to them.
וידבר אלוהים את כל הדברים האלה לאמור, אנוכי אדוני אלוהיך אשר הוצאתיך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים.
I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and out of the house of bondage.
לא יהיה לך אלוהים אחרים על פניי, לא תעשה לך פסל וכל תמונה אשר בשמיים ממעל ואשר בארץ מתחת ואשר במים מתחת לארץ. לא תשתחווה להם ולא תעבדם, כי אנוכי אדוני אלוהיך אל קנה, פוקד עוון אבות, על בנים, על שלישים ועל רבעים לשונאי, ועושה חסד לאלפים לאוהבי ולשומרי מצוותי.
You shall have no other gods besides me. You shall not make for yourself an image of anything in the heavens above, or on the earth below, or in the waters under the earth. You shall not worship them or serve them, for I, the eternal God, am a demanding God, visiting the guilt of the parents upon the children, upon the third and fourth generations of those who reject me, but showing kindness to thousands of generations of those who love me and keep my commandments.
לא תישא את שם אדוני אלוהיך לשווא, כי לא ינקה אדוני את אשר יישא את שמו לשווא.
You shall not swear falsely by the name Adonai your God, for Adonai will not clear one who swears falsely by the name Adonai.
זכור את יום השבת לקדשו, 6 ימים תעבוד, ועשית כל מלאכתך, ויום השביעי שבת לאדוני אלוהיך. לא תעשה כל מלאכה, אתה ובנך וביתך, עבדך ואמתך, ובהמתך, וגרך אשר בשעריך, כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, את הים ואת כל אשר בם. וינח ביום השביעי, על כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשהו.
Remember the Sabbath day, and keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath of your eternal God. You shall not do any work, you, your son or daughter, your servants, your domestic animals, or the stranger in your community. For in 6 days God made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and then God rested on the 7th day. Therefore God blessed the Sabbath day, and called it holy.
כבד את אביך ואת אמך, למען יאריכון ימיך על האדמה, אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך.
Honor your father and your mother, that you may long endure in the land that your God gives to you.
לא תרצח,
You shall not murder.
לא תנאף,
You shall not commit adultery.
לא תגנוב,
You shall not steal.
לא תענה ברעך עד שקר,
You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor.
לא תחמוד בית רעך, לא תחמוד אשת רעך, ועבדו ואמתו, ושרו וחמורו, וכל אשר לרעך.
You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's spouse, servants, cattle, nor anything that belongs to your neighbor.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata betochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Like you were standing at Sinai? I feel the earth rumble beneath you. I'm very proud of them for that. I'm very proud of us for that. That's what B'nai Zion does. All right, everyone who has birthday or anniversary this month, the month of June, please come up. Come on, birthday or anniversary. June. For the month of June. In the month of June. If your birthday or anniversary is in the month of June, come on up. And okay, and we'll just say for everybody else, what can I say? So we continue with a blessing for them, which is on what? Just yesterday? Feels like it, doesn't it? What? You were right here. And it was how many years ago? 38 years ago, right here, Kenahara. Poo. And they're still here. I was saying that we should have done something big deal for them for their 36th, and we didn't think about doing it here for your 36th. So this is the blessing we say for you. May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. May you trust in generations past and yet to be. May your heart be filled with intuition. May your words be rich in understanding. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue, and your vision clarify a straight path before you. May your eyes shine with the light of Torah, and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness. And even as you ever yearn to hear the words of the Ancient One of Holiness, we can add, because it's them, and thank you for the things that you did out of this union, the legacies that you have created in so many ways. Would you help us now by coming to open up the Ark? We're on page 167, kind of. But you're going to have to do the Hebrew with your eyes closed, kind of. Please rise when the ark is open. Because the words, oh, look at how beautiful that is. Matching jewelry on this time, but there's more. Come join us. So forget the words that are in there because it's a shortened version. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, v'lo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu koreim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malachei Hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu V'nemar V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo echad. Okay, 38 years of kissing. Now you get to kiss the Torah. Or 38 plus. It's just when you got married, I guess. I don't know. You may close the door. When the door is closed, you may be seated. And now you may kiss the bride. It was worth it, right? You too can have an aliyah and get to kiss. That's the way we roll. It's the way we roll. So we switch gears. We pay on page 169. We remember the ones we have loved who are no more. We love them. We think of them. We remember them. There are tears in our remembering, and there are smiles. We give thanks. Remembering is a gift. We give thanks. Their lives are a blessing. We give thanks for what we had. We give thanks for what we have. We remember the good as though it were yesterday, and the bad has been softened by the passing seasons. Good and bad alike, laughter and tears alike are ours. Remembering is a gift of love passing back and forth among yesterdays, among those that were and those that are, those we walk with now, and yesterday's fellow pilgrims for whose journey we are glad. We give thanks. Remembering is a gift. We give thanks. Their lives are a blessing. We give thanks for what we had. We give thanks for what we have. So your Yizkor book includes prayers that you say to remember your specific people. This year, as you notice, we have not only the names of those who submitted their names in memory of people they loved, but we also included all of the people who died in Israel the previous year. We take a moment to remember our family. We remember those who died who have no one left. We remember. We honor the memories of those who have died. We remember the U.S. and IDF troops who have given their lives in the service of our countries. This week, we lost David Libby, who was 19 years old, who was a civilian contractor for the Defense Ministry. He died we also lost Ravid Chaim, who was the little boy whose mom was shot, and he was on life support. He was sustained. He was 15 years old. If you saw what the funeral looked like for that, it was hard. It was really, really hard. We remember the first responders who have given their lives while protecting or saving others. We remember innocent victims of war, terror, and violence wherever it occurs. We remember those who died in natural disasters. We take as our own those who have no one else to remember them. We honor the memories of those from our congregational and community family who recently died. In the past year, we remember Foxy Aaron and Sheila Lawrence, but in 5785, we lost Sheila Lawrence, Rita Rabinowitz, Barbara Schneider, and Gary Yellen. We remember congregants, family, and friends whose Yortzeit observances were this past week. We remember Tamara Atkins, Mortimer Cohen, Franco de Benedetti, Shirley Murov Eltis, Alvin Gardspain, I.H. Ginsberg, Claire Goldberg, Mortimer Hertzberg, Ruth Kallenberg, Jacob Katzenstein, Loris Levy, Carl Levy, Philip Ben Lieber, Max Morris, Daryl Muslow, Bill Otto, Delbert Plant Jr., Molly Shanhouse, Archie Simon, Robert Simon Treif, Stephen Israel Weinstein, Ann Weiss, Mildred Lottie Werner, Jacques Wiener Sr. As we remember them, if you have a tradition to rise for Yizkor, for those you're remembering, that's for anyone that we've lost. We continue on page 170. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chaye chon u'v'yomei chon, v'chaye duchol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'l'almei almaya, yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'alev v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'richu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim alenu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, v'yaseh shalom, alenu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. You may be seated. Now, we have to go eat some cake, but I thought we had something here that we're supposed to sing for Shavuot. What are we supposed to sing for Shavuot? Where's my Shavuot songs? All the way in the back here. There's something we wanted to do. If we can't find it, well then, Bishvat, then Purim. We did that. I skipped right over it. Anybody see it? Memory, meditation, and healing. Nope. Oh, you know why? Because this is the Shabbat book. Okay. Okay, let's do this as our closing. Do we want my friends who are under the age of 13 to come back and help? Yeah. Come on. Come on. Everybody's hungry. What's going to be under here? We got a nice white cover. You think there's challah? You are right. Whoa, it's challah. It's wiggly challah. Ready? Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. All right, I'm going to take this. B'tevon, you can take that, both of you. You get the other half. That's yours. All right, we're going to bring this over here. We have lots of bat kohanim, so everybody help him with this. Please rise for your closing benediction. And let's say, Yivarechecha, Adonai v'yishmarecha, may God bless you, may God protect you.
Yehi Ratzon.
May it be God's will. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'choneka, may the light of God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Kein Yehi Ratzon.
Behind
May
you.
it be God's will.
Yisad Onai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted up to you. May God grant you peace.
Kein Yehi Ratzon.
May it be God's will. Let's go eat some cheesecake. Bim bum, bim 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 bum, bim 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 bum. Please bring the books back. Bim bum, bim 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 bum, bim 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 bum. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom.